Hello, it's Steffi here. It's time to talk. Real people, real lives. Today's episode is a topic nobody wants to experience in life. Nobody. In 2004 to 2019, here in New Zealand, we had 1,125 homicide cases. Out of those 1,125, 301 women were killed. These are 1,125 people. Too much. You don't wish this to anyone. And I know lots of you lost someone, a loved one, on a disease, somebody age, or even an accident. What happened to myself just lately. But I have to say, if somebody loses someone to homicide, this is the next level. This is my personal opinion. Our guest today experienced homicide in a very tragic way. Please welcome Brian. So nice to see you here today. I know your story a little bit, and I have to say I've got goosebumps right now. I really have to say this. I'm speechless. I never often really speechless, but how to say, how you feel. I don't want to say how are you, because I guess you're sick of this question, because you know how you are. So how do you cope what happened to you a long time ago, but I guess it feels like it happened yesterday?
Yeah, pretty much. It stays with you every day. I can remember I was at a golf thing recently, and someone said, "Oh, well, it's 10 years or 12 years or whatever. You would have got over it by now, Yeah. And I thought, well, obviously you don't. It just stays with you, and you just learn to live with it, really, and live around it. Because hardly a day goes by, or even part of a day, where she doesn't pop into your mind. You might hear a certain song, or on the radio, or someone says something, and
something triggers in you.
Yeah. And there's plenty of triggers.
And it was your daughter.
Yeah, the youngest daughter.
The youngest daughter. So how old was she when it happened?
She was 25.
Wow, the middle of her blossom,
Yeah.
really.
Yeah.
So when did you get the news? Must be, did you get a phone call? How was it? It must be, I guess you will never ever forget this moment.
No, not at all, no.
When was it?
I got a call actually from the police. I was over in Cambridge seeing some clients. I was in the insurance industry.
Yeah.
And they told me. I think for me it was, because it was done by phone, then I had to drive home. I had all sorts of questions, and
wow, I've got goosebumps right now.
I came home pretty fast. But I think Lynette, my wife, had the more traumatic experience. The police called round to our home, and they asked her where I was, and or whether she was Natasha Hayden's mother, and she said, what's she done now? She used to have a bit of a problem with the MOT, with a few speeding fines and things like that.
Happens in this age,
Yeah, a bit like a father, really. And anyway, she said, Lynette said, well, what's she done now? And they said, well, you need to come inside and sit down. And they told her, and so she tried to ring me, but that wasn't happening, so the police did. So, I flew back home.
Guess when you got the call, being at your client, but you're still with your client, and you get this call, I guess it feels like, no, it's something not right. It can't be my daughter.
Yeah.
No? I guess it was, and otherwise you would drive home like speeding, actually. Get your speeding. No, you didn't believe it.
No. Oh well. Yeah. Just so many questions. I sort of thought that she might have had a car accident or something like that.
Yeah.
And you sort of think, well, she's made an error, or she's gone too fast, and for me, I sort of think, there but for the grace of God can go anyone and anyone's child, because we see that on the roads and that sort of thing. And you sort of think that's like one of those things, but this turned out to be not just one of those things, you know.
So how? So what was it? So you got home. Was the police still there
Yes.
when you got home?
Yep. Yep.
So how was your wife? How did she?
Devastated. You know, she was. Yeah, she couldn't get her head around it either. You know, because when they told her, you know, that she died, she was a bit the same as me. Thought it might have been a car accident. And then when they told her it was a homicide, that was it. She sort of just closed off and shut down, and that was.
That's what I say. It's like this is really next level. This is really next level. Like I say, I lost my husband in a tragic truck accident. Just weeks ago. But your one, I have to say, this is just losing a child. This is your child.
Yeah.
It's gone.
Yeah. I suppose either way, you didn't still get to say goodbye, and I think that is something that, you know, to if you have a child die, say of cancer or something like that, it's generally a slow progression.
Different story, different story.
And I can't identify with that. You know, I mean, it's people could say it's still the same result. You've lost someone, you know, that you weren't planning on losing. Yeah, but for me, they told me who had killed her, and I didn't know who he was. I just said, who was that? You know, who was that? And
why would somebody kill your daughter?
Yeah, exactly.
In the first place, no? Why?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I had no reason to think anyone would.
And I guess
she was a lovely girl, you know.
And still to this day, I guess you're still asking yourself why.
Yeah.
Because I guess you will never know.
Well, he's not going to say.
No.
You know, you wouldn't believe anything he said, you know. So, yeah.
Oh, so and how did you mind? Because I guess this is also a strength on the relationship with you. You know, you feel in some kind of guilty of something.
Oh, yeah.
You know, you feel even you're not guilty, but something comes up. Oh God. What did I do? Why not?
Yeah.
It comes up.
Well, I made a bit of an error in that I sort of thought that once she'd become married and we had a lovely wedding and whatnot with a husband and whatnot, that I'd sort of done my bit.
Yeah,
so, you know?
Like tick, done, sorted.
That's it. Yeah, that she wasn't my responsibility anymore. I'd got her to the stage where she married and they could carry on doing.
You were happy because she was happy.
Yeah, correct.
This is what I always with my kids.
Yeah.
I'm happy, they're happy,
exactly.
I'm happy.
Yeah,
that's it. Job done.
Yeah, exactly.
Job done.
But it wasn't. There were signs there, you know, that she wasn't happy. Mm-hmm. And I thought that the reason she wasn't happy was from a family thing. She'd had a fallout with her brother and things like and there was a bit of aggro going on there, and I sort of thought, well, you know, Michael, her husband, you know, he'll sort of help do that, but I should have carried on being more of a dad, you know, and made more inquiries and whatnot instead of thinking, look, they need to sort it out, you know.
But this is what you do as a parent, you know. These are, like you say, you feel guilty, but you shouldn't feel guilty.
No,
because you think, okay, she's happy, she is married, she has a man who is actually looking after her.
Correct.
It's not your job anymore.
Yeah, that's right.
He took over.
Yeah.
So it's actually no reason to feel guilty, but you still do.
You still do.
You still do.
Yeah.
Oh my God. So, and the guy, did she knew the guy? When he latched onto her when Michael and Natasha's husband and her split, and she ended up in a flatting situation, and he happened to be an associate of this flat, and he just latched onto her, and you know, basically there was some sort of relationship, but I don't know what it was. But as it turned out, what Natasha did, she looked after young kids and whatnot, and as part of her job, and this guy had 2 young kids, and she could see how those kids were being treated and took it upon herself to try and help the family with them. Oh God.
Yeah, so, but they were just a dysfunctional family, full stop, and she was out of her depth. Because
she tried to help.
Yeah, she tried to help.
She was unhappy in her relationship, and that, I can make a difference to this relationship and to those children.
Yeah. She was.
And he used to actually.
Yeah, exactly. No. Yeah, and even played his own kids against her. You know that. You know, if you don't be where I want you to be, I'll do something to one of the kids or whatever, you know.
Oh God! So, and the thing is, the homicide actually happened on a beautiful place here in the Bay of Plenty.
Yes, yeah.
This is just an amazing place.
It
So
is.
nobody knows why he did it there. And
Oh, well, no, not...
We will never know.
We don't know, no. He somehow went out in her car and yeah.
the unknown, I think this is not what it sits in here. You just want to have answers, but you can't get them.
No, he, even if he told me, I wouldn't believe him, you know. We've sort of formulated a bit of a thing as to how it happened, you know, what happened. We know he strangled her and then came up with a whole heap of excuses to what, you know, how she died. You know, she fell on a fence and got hooked up on a fence. You know, which the police discounted and whatnot. So he had all these stories that he told.
On the newspaper, I was reading there's 3 different stories he came up.
Kept changing them, you know, as to suit the evidence they kept putting forward, you know. So, yeah, he's just a pathological liar.
And I think the worst one, knowing that he was on bail, and whilst he was on bail, he murdered a child.
2.5-year-old Alia Morrissey. Yeah.
This is the next thing. Like you said before, when we had a chat before we started this, even it is sad as, but for everything is a reason, and there is maybe really time to change something in the justice system. Yeah. Because, like I say, 1,125 suicide cases in New Zealand. This is far too much. There shouldn't be any.
Yeah.
So how do you live now? So, like you say to me, it was actually a day before your birthday. So I guess your birthday is not a birthday anymore.
Yeah. No, I sort of gloss over it now. Yeah, I think. It's just
nothing to celebrate,
day.
really.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, well, the same as the day, the actual day itself.
Yeah.
You know, it's probably. We used to go out to McLaren's Falls and put a rose out there in the early years and things like that.
And bring the memories back.
And then go to where, you know, she's the funeral. I mean, the cemetery where she is, and things like that. But even that gets a bit difficult.
That's emotional. You will, like I said to you, it happened 15 years ago, but it's still like yesterday, I guess.
Yep. No? And I suppose people used to say, even after the court case, at least you'll be able to move on now. And you know, I even got to the stage where I started asking people, "Where's this place I'm moving on to?" You know,
That's a good
and I mean, if I had 10 cents for every time someone said, "at least you'll be able to move on now," you know. And there's nowhere that you actually do move on to. You know, it's with you. You can't escape it. You know, so you just have to work around it and hope like you come out the other side. That's right. Just to find something else, and like you say, move on. I changed this entire thing. I said I have to move forward because my husband would like to see me to be happy. Yes, and I know that my husband is always with me. I see him all the time as a little bird, as a little black bird. Good.
He is all that. So do you have some kind of this? Natasha is with that you actually can see that she pops up in your life?
Oh no, I don't, but my wife does. She has a lot, and there was a very good book out called Sensing Natasha, written by Scott Russell Hill. He's an Australian psychic, and he picked up on her.
So is this actually about your daughter?
Yes. You'd like the book.
Oh,
I should have brought it with me.
I want this book.
and you'll get a kick out of that. And he, so he was very big on it. And with Lynette, she'll know where because I start feeling it in her hair or things like that. To be fair, I haven't been big on that until Scott Russell Hill did his book, and there was things in that he didn't know, and from the TV program Sensing Murder, and so from being a bit of a skeptic to someone who is pretty much a believer now. So when people tell me things like that, and the funny thing is, young kids pick up on that. You know, real young young children.
My grandson,
Yep.
he's 5.
Yeah.
He knows. He's like, oh, hey, Fred. He talks to.
Correct.
He can feel it when
Correct.
he is
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
This is amazing.
My grandson Riley, he exactly the same. He'd say, "Oh, don't sit down there. Auntie Tasha's there." And he'd never met her.
Oh God, yeah.
And different things, and was very in tune. Not so much now,
Yeah.
I think they either grow out of it or we knock it out of them or something. You know?
Maybe the waves as well,
Yeah. But so it's quite freaky. Yeah.
It is. Because nobody can tell you they are here, they're not here. Nobody.
No, correct.
Nobody knows.
Exactly.
And then wherever I go, the black bird turns up.
that's
Wherever
it.
I go.
Yeah.
And he said, I will always look after you.
Yeah.
But he didn't say how.
No.
So it's the same with Natasha. She will be here.
Yeah.
And she wants you to move on. But it is not easy for us.
No.
It is not. No, because we still miss them every day.
Yeah, sure.
This is the thing.
Yeah.
Wow, honestly, when I heard you are coming and sharing your story, I said, wow, that will be really hard one for both of us. For both of us, Brian, honestly, I mean it. That was the hardest one. So what message do you have? Like I said, there are, I guess, quite a few parents out there, they went through exactly the same. And what can you tell them? What helped you to actually to go through? Because you're still going through.
I suppose the thing that I've always believed in life is it's not necessarily what happens to you, it's what you do about what happens to you that's important.
Yeah, how you respond does not.
Yeah, I mean, you could easily sit around and have your own little pity party, solves nothing. Mm-hmm. But if you get out there and help other people through it, and we did that via the Sensible Sensing Trust, and you met people in the same situation, and you could see the various stages of grief that they were at, and you sort of thought, gee, I've been there. Mm-hmm. And you knew the things you could say, that sort of just helped a bit. And I say, I used to write, and I'd write a lot of rubbish, but I'd be up at 3 or 4 in the morning writing, and I'd put submissions to Parliament, and Bail Act, right to sign, different things like that, and just trying to make sense of it and trying to make a difference. So I had to do things for Natasha which I wouldn't have otherwise have done. I'd pick up the paper before and I'd see someone had been killed or whatever, and then this is a bit sad, move to the sports section. No different when car accident or the accident. I mean, I remember your husband Fred, he shifted for us a couple of times, and I saw that in the paper. I said, Lynette, that's that guy, and I said, real neat bloke, real
real
good
million.
bloke.
It's one in a million, I tell you.
But to be fair, once the next day I'd sort of, forgotten about it because it wasn't, personal to me, so I had to. So when it's personal to you, it makes a difference. It's easy to walk in someone's moccasins if you've been there, and so someone said to you about someone died in a car accident or whatever, died in an accident. You know how they feel. The stages you go through, trying to make sense of it. Why him? Why that day? Why was I? So there's a lot of whys, and I probably didn't have a lot of whys. So it's because you're reliant on the justice system to give you the answers, which they didn't, of course. But I just made it a point of trying to make a difference. Everything I did from then on that I couldn't do for her while she was living, I'd do it in the name of that's what Tasha would, like me to do, or, so I, just helping people and whatnot. And I've always been a believer that if you help people get what they want, you'll get what you want. And you probably, this would be something too that it didn't take me too long to learn, but the more you do for other people, the more good things happen to you.
That's right.
And I don't know what, the law of compensation or whatever it may be, but so if you're feeling really down, you're better to go and say to your next door neighbour, look, can I go and do
Make a
something
difference
for
to
you?
somebody else.
That
makes you feel good. It
it does.
you.
And the more you do
I'm
it,
here for a reason.
I
huh?
know. And the more you do it, the better you actually feel. And sometimes you get out of habit of doing that. So so just it's not always. It's not just about you. It's about making a difference to other people's lives. And we can do that because we've got experience to draw on to be able to do that.
Wow, this is a very powerful message. Hey, thank you so much.
No worries.
Thank you so much. Well, I think that was my toughest one so far, I have to say. But as you see what Brian just said, there's things happen to us, but it depends how we respond to it, how we deal with it, and we're using it to make a difference to other people. And in this last message, it also came across, if we're helping others and we're also there to listen to others, to help others, this can make a huge difference to them and also to us, because we are still here, we still have to live, and we have to move forward. We're moving forward, but always with our loved ones in our heart all the time. So we can say, I hope Natasha can hear us, Fred can hear us, they all can hear us. Look, now I'm getting really emotional. We thought we were getting emotional before and fine. So what we can say, listen to the video, watch the video again. Hopefully we can help you. We can make a difference to your life, because life still has to go on. So remember, we are on this journey together. Let's start the conversation, share your thoughts, and subscribe to our channel. Enjoy life, live in the moment, and most of all, be unstoppable. You are worth it, and that's all what matters. It's time to talk. Bye for now. See you soon.